I'm Allie, and today we're diving into the resilience and perseverance of Jute Foster's Wild Blood. Let's get going. Now, what was the very first idea that sparked Wild Blood?
It was Pony Express in a magical setting. I have always been fascinated by the Pony Express. I loved horses. And so I thought about putting that in a magical setting.
And I love the magical setting. What scene did you rewrite the most?
Definitely ones involving Polan. I didn't want him to be a mustache twirling villain. I wanted him to be somebody who actually believed he was the hero of his own story, because I think that's how villains really are. And so that's how he came about.
Pullman really did strike me as a realistic villain, and it was kind of scary because I've known people like that before. Now, Wild Blood deals a lot with identity after abuse. When you started writing, did you know that's what the core theme would be?
Not initially. I needed a reason for a 30-year-old to be at an academy where young people were normally the ones that were trained. And I decided that her magic would have been suppressed, so she wouldn't have been trained at a normal age. Then I had to have a reason for that to have happened. I actually have a person who's very close to me who suffered domestic abuse, and I wanted to highlight some things about that. So those two ideas just sort of combined, and Gessa came to be.
Well, for something that wasn't planned right from the beginning, it has such an important message and it's so meaningful. How did you balance writing about abuse realistically while keeping the story hopeful?
It was very important to me that the violence not be gratuitous in this book, especially given the themes. So I wanted to put in small moments right from the beginning that were more hopeful and showed that Jessa was starting to reclaim herself right from the beginning. So, for instance, in the beginning of the book, she sees a beautiful blue butterfly at a river, and that was where I put in that first moment of her having a little bit of her own self come back. And then later, when she reaches the academy, she sees that people actually believe her. And that was really important to me, to have abuse victims have someone who believed them, because oftentimes they don't. And having that validation is the first step for them being able to actually heal and reclaim themselves.
That was such a breath of fresh air. I was expecting them to not believe her, and when they actually took her at her word, it was amazing. Now, switching gears a little bit, what part was the most fun of building the magic system?
Well, I'm a huge nerd for magic systems, and the best part was definitely creating the soul beasts, because they're not just magical pets; they are pieces of a person's soul, and coming up with that, and what kind of person would have, for instance, the Mustangs, or what kind of person would have the otters. That was the best part for me.
I loved the soul beasts. I was sitting there wondering what mine would be. Now, what do you think Jessa's biggest internal battle is?
Her biggest internal battle, I think, was unlearning the lies that her abuser planted in her head. Manipulators like Polan are architects of self-doubt. He spent years making her believe her magic was an illness that required his correction. Her true fight wasn't just surviving in the wilderness, it was getting rid of the crutches she was forced to rely on to survive this, and realize that she didn't need to be contained.
That's such a powerful message, and it really stayed with me after finishing Wild Blood. Speaking of, what does Wild Blood mean to you beyond magic?
Beyond the magic system, Wild Blood is that tiny, indestructible spark inside someone that simply says no. It's a part of Jessa that looks at an impossible, terrifying situation and decides, I will not be extinguished. It's the unrelenting spirit that refuses to give up, even when giving up would be so much easier.
I absolutely love that. I'm sitting here thinking about how that's going to be such a great teaser, but really just such an amazing message for the book to have. Now, how did writing this book change you as a writer?
Well, it's been a profoundly humbling experience. More than anything, I want to write stories that connect with the reader and genuinely touch people. And I've been so incredibly moved and grateful seeing readers connect with Jessa and Kai on a deep level. It has given me confidence to keep tackling difficult real world subjects through this fantasy lens. And in fact, in my next book, I'm going to be exploring another difficult subject. And I'll be excited to share that with people soon. But anyway, it's a constant learning process, but one I really love. And I'm very grateful that people are giving me this opportunity to do that. Thank you.
Thank you so much to Jute Foster for taking the time to be here with us. Please join us next week for another Plotopsy.